Ball clearly in. Possible defensive foul. Oops.
No.
I think he's gone to play the ball.
All right, you got Gabriel running in. You got Party. Leave him.
Remember,
He's gone to play the ball.
He's already on one.
There's no discipline on field yet.
Declan Rice has kicked the ball away.
Just knocked it away.
Yeah.
He's on a second.
Gonna have no choice, mate.
It's a second yellow, mate.
I know, I've got no choice.
Yeah, he's delaying the restart.
I know it is, and I'm going to have to deal with it, aren't I know. Second yellow for me.
Yeah, look after yourself.
Just looking at...
So,
I have no choice.
Okay.
He knocks the
Just
ball
watching
away.
this, just show me this again. If you
allowed
watch
to kick
Veltman,
it, he knocks the
he's
ball.
looking
Yes,
away,
he
he's
did.
not even looking, he's looking to play
clear.
the ball there, so for me that's not okay. Are you happy with that?
No,
yeah?
agreed.
Are you happy with that?
Agreed.
He's looking
no
to play the
The
ball.
player's running at
That's
you, mate.
Declan Rice's issue. To be
Martin!
honest.
Yeah, it's not an act of violent conduct for me.
No, I don't think so.
Let me just stop it there for a moment. Welcome back to the Terrace. Hit the like and the share buttons. The Premier League finally, it always takes them weeks. I always wonder why it takes them weeks. Have revealed the audio footage from VAR for the Declan Rice incident. And as you can, the only troubling comment that came out was look after yourself to the referee. And it should never be about referees looking after themselves. It should be about consistent decisions, looking to be as objective as possible. However, what I would also say is this, that within that decision, overall, I don't have any issue with what they've said or done. Now, you can, whether you want to believe the Brighton player tries to play the ball or not is subjective. Whether you believe Rice is trying to delay the restart, you could argue is subjective. But between the referee and his assistant, subjectively, they have all said he's delaying the restart. It is within the letter of the law. That has never been the argument. And I think there's been far too much time on this decision spent on, is it a yellow card or not? That has never been the debate. And this is why I'm so intrigued to watch this here from Sky. It's not about letter of the law. It's not about the ball rolling. It isn't about any of that. It's why isn't this rule applied equally on a consistent basis? That is where the debate needs to be. So let's take a little listen to see what is being said here and whether or not they confirm they cheated or robbed Arsenal, or they were unfair at the very least, and how this is going to reflect on the rest of us in the Premier League. Let's take a listen to Howard Webb.
As you hear from Chris Kavanagh, he's clearly seen Declan Rice commit a foul, then kick the ball away for an opponent who was in the process of taking a free kick. We've messaged very clearly and strongly to the players in pre-season around the importance of not getting involved with the ball once the whistle has gone, not delaying the restart in that way. And we said we'd be consistent in the way that we handle this in the same way we were last season. Numbers of yellow cards for delaying the restart almost doubled last season.
So let's just stop him there because we want to get consistency here. So I'm going to make a note of this so I don't forget later in the video. So he's basically said that Rice, what Rice did was stop the restart because the whistle's gone and they're going to book you if you delay the restart. And the restart is about to happen because the Brighton defender is about to kick the ball. That is essentially what he has said there. And it's very important when it comes to later in the video for the challenges when he says that. But I think we can all agree, if the referee blows the whistle when the game stops and somebody goes to take a free kick, if anybody stands in front of the ball, kicks the ball away, doesn't give the ball back because a quick free kick is required, they should be booked. I think we could all get on board with that rule.
Because people want to see the game, with tempo and flow like we talked about earlier. So I think once he's seen Declan Rice deliberately, clearly kick that ball away from the position of that free kick, then I don't think he's got any choice but send him off.
OK, I'm going to pick this apart a little bit.
Here we go. Some challenge.
Arsenal fans say the ball was moving as Declan Rice kicks.
Oh, my God. How is that your first challenge, Michael Owen? The ball was rolling. I know we all did it for a laugh on socials, but that isn't the challenge here. The challenge isn't was the ball rolling.
Away. What do you think? And does it make any difference, more to the point?
Yeah, it may have been, but Declan Rice still felt the need to kick that ball away. It still has that impact, and we have to look at what the player does in this situation. He acts in a way which is very clear. He makes a decision to do that, to take the ball away from the opponent. It's the referee's job to deal with everything else. But, in this situation, the actions of Rice were designed to delay the restart.
OK, that's a fair challenge. I wouldn't have put the ball rolling in there if I was producing this show. But now that it's come up, this is the follow-up question. This is my problem with Sky. They just accept the answer and go, okay, mate. The follow-up question is, well, what about, create a hypothetical, get the answer now ahead of time so we can hold them to account. So what happens if a foul is committed in the same way and the player fouled is about to take a quick free kick? The ball is rolling or still, it's irrelevant. But the opponent, say Declan Rice in this scenario, flicks the ball back 4 or 5 yards because that is where the foul took place, and he believes that the defender or the player who's been fouled, who's taking the free kick, is trying to gain an unfair advantage. What should happen in that scenario? For me, that is a type of question that needs to be displayed here, because when that scenario happens in a few weeks, cries of corruption and inconsistency will be called out. And that's the obvious next question. Let's see if it happens.
And therefore, I don't think he can have any complaints when his actions then result in a yellow card.
Even though the restart couldn't have been a restart because the ball was still moving.
Well,
oh, God, he's back to the fucking ball rolling.
Don't know for certain, do we? In that situation, the referee looked...
Well, we do know for certain. We do know. And let's not pretend that he hasn't got his friends in his ear who may have said, look, the ball was rolling, 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Just start the restart and we get the game on. Because also, where's the challenge here from the trying to keep 11 men on the pitch? I get that they every season they have new protocols, but it was only last year they were trying to keep 11 men on the pitch. Now they're not. Come on, Webb. And again, not a great question, but there's so much more you could dig out of this guy. Do your jobs, challenge, dig a bit deeper.
Looks at that, focuses on Rice's actions and determines that he has to deal with him because those actions are intentionally designed to kick the ball away when he's got no business going near the ball in the first place, having given away a free kick. He knows he's got to get away and let that free kick be.
Then why don't you book everybody for not moving away from free kicks? It still happens in every single game where players don't stand 10 yards away and they just block a quick restart. Again, that's the follow-up question to what he said. Where is it, Michael?
Taken and let the referee deal with anything else.
OK, another clip. In the first half, João Pedro.
Well, at least he's gone on to something.
Kicking the ball away.
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
Well, it's a different...
He wasn't booked in this situation,
He wasn't.
Howard.
He should have been. It's a different type of scenario. It sits in the same kind of bucket around delaying the restart.
Howard, I'm not going to show any more of this. I thought it was going to be blurred. I don't, they edited the video, but it isn't. I don't want to show any more. But Howard Webb essentially saying there that he should be booked. He should be booked, and that was a mistake by the referees. At least they've admitted the inconsistencies. And that is, when I say Arsenal were robbed, I'm not talking about the correct decision being done or not. It's about the inconsistencies. And that is all we're asking for as fans. And if this weekend, Man United are playing Crystal Palace, and a Palace player commits a foul and isn't booked, and our player commits a similar foul and is, you are, in my opinion, you're being cheated and robbed in the first instance. Because every time you get a player booked, you're at a disadvantage. It's just, that's why they give yellow cards out. It's ridiculous.
Because they felt that the Arsenal players were not ready to take that throw-in. They were a little bit distance away.
Okay. So because there was a big distance and the Arsenal players weren't ready to take it, that is maybe why they didn't give the decision. This should be the next point by Michael Owen. Michael Owen should now be saying, okay, but at the weekend, Bruno Fernandes committed a foul before the whistle was blown, so the game was still in play. He crosses the ball. There was no Southampton players around him. None. Sort of same distance there as we've seen with João Pedro. Bruno crosses the ball. Doesn't boot it away. He crosses the ball because the foul hasn't been given yet because the whistle hadn't gone. And he was booked for delaying the restart. Michael Owen's next point should be, okay, you've said the referee should have booked Pedro, but you've explained why they maybe didn't, because it wasn't a direct restart, a quick one, because no Arsenal players were nearby. The Bruno Fernandes case, boom, straight in there. Plus, it hasn't been discussed enough. The whistle hadn't even gone. Let's see if that question comes up.
From the ball, and like Veltman, who was right there, I think when we look at this, it's quite clear that the actions of Pedro do have an impact. They do delay Arsenal's ability to restart. And yes, that should have been a yellow card, and we've certainly messaged that back to the officials. We want to be consistent with our application of these types of disciplinary sanctions. We've committed to dealing with players who delay the restart. Okay,
so he said they want to be consistent. then he hasn't asked about Bruno Fernandes. The next question should therefore be, why wasn't Szoboszlai, who's already booked, the whistle had gone, who booted the ball away, why was he not shown a second yellow card? So he's literally sitting there on national TV. Now, Liverpool fans, please don't get your knickers in a twist. I'm talking here about consistency the same way as I did for you when you had goals, a penalty robbed against you from Arsenal last year, when you were robbed in decisions against Spurs away last year. No difference. He's sitting there and saying that it was a mistake not to give João Pedro the yellow card, and we're working really tirelessly to make sure this doesn't happen. Szoboszlai got away with it. Bruno was booked in a very obscure way at the weekend. And I'm telling you now, this is all performative. And this is all about the first words that were said by VAR. Look after yourself. This is all about closing ranks. The abundance of yellow cards we saw last weekend will slowly dwindle. This weekend just gone will slowly dwindle away. It is, in my opinion, that not based on the letter of the law, but based on consistency, that Arsenal were absolutely screwed over, and the decision to send off Declan Rice will resonate for the rest of the season. The only thing I'm gutted about, really, is that this has been exposed involving Arsenal, because people are saying, oh, glazing Arsenal terrorist. All of that really lame banter will now come out. Every single bit of it. I kind of wish this happened to another member of the top six that we react to, just so that people wouldn't think it was shrouded in bias. But the inconsistencies are the only consistency that come from these referees. The lack of challenge again, but from Michael Owen. The lack of challenge again from the mainstream media, in my personal opinion, is ridiculous and disgraceful. And as far as I'm concerned, just like the long list of clubs over the course of the last 18 months to 2 years, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Liverpool, Manchester United, and of course Arsenal in this example, have been absolutely robbed through either poor decisions or the inconsistent application of them. That damages the integrity of our game. Hit the like and the share button, people. Make sure you're subscribing, and we'll speak to you all again soon. Peace.